It's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely a different type of process.
Cut down or freeze up.
Being a coach's son.
Jackson, of course, they keep retooling. One stone to face, a hit by pitch. Oh my goodness.
3, 2, 1, roll it. Welcome everybody to the first edition of the Hitting Zone podcast on the outdoor side. I'm actually outside my home. I was taking a walk and wanted to jump on and do a little podcast to talk about some things. But first, let's talk about Game 7 Baseball, game7baseball.com. We're running through the World Series. I believe that is on my birthday weekend, 6/26 weekend. There's still a few tournaments left. So if you're out there looking for something with all the rain that we've had, make sure that you go visit Game 7, game7baseball.com. Make sure you also go check out probably the tents that'll be out there from Prime Sports Midwest. They have 3 locations now, one in Chesterfield, one in Fenton, and of course in Mid Rivers that we talk about all the time. I'm not in studio to see all the reminders on the addresses. So I know one's 1550 Ocello, one's on Mid Rivers Mall Drive. But anywho, we're jumping on today. We got a lot going on with Youth Baseball Midwest. You can see that if you go to the YouTube channel. You're already there. So actually, if you just go cycle through, you can find some of our other events. I did this last week too. Of course, if you're watching this, you're on YouTube already. But what I need you to do is hit that dinger, hit those likes, follow us, comments, give us some action on there so that we can have some good topics for you moving forward. And today it's going to be a quick one. I just wanted to talk about a few things that I think as we head into the end of the season and into tryouts, things that you can work with your athletes on as a parent. And if you're old enough and you're watching this, this is something that you can do yourself. Something that I've been big on is the mental side of the game lately. And you can go to my Instagram page, which is Mitch Thomas Sports Performance, and you could check out some of the things that I talk about on the mental side. And it's things like failure. What is failure? One of my favorite things was an interview done with Kobe Bryant. And Kobe was asked about failure, and he said, "What is it?" And he said, "It's a figment of your imagination." And I thought about that, and the perception was, is failure real? And of course, there are results that are favorable, but if you're not learning, is that really failure? So that leads me into topics to talk about today, which it's going to be simple. It's the 4 F's that I like to call them. These are things that we could do to basically become, having an elite level mindset in the game, trying to be unbreakable when you have situations that go against you. And I call those the 4 F's. It's the only time you can have 4 F's and I think be successful, because if you have 4 F's in school, we're in trouble. So the first one is the obvious one. We talked about this last week on the show. Brian and I did, about focus and how to lead focus at practices or demand focus, and how that leads into just being, a better athlete between the years, being more prepared, how it helps you in your at-bats, how it helps you after you've made some mistakes, or if you go 0 for 3 in a game, how do you bounce back from those things? And I think focus for me is simply just being present, staying in that moment, the next pitch, the next at bat, the next play. Everything that is in our game is one single moment, and we have to make sure that we're focused for that one moment. So if there's a pop up and that ball is caught, there's a next moment, there's a next play, there's a next pitch, there's a next strike, there's a next ball, if you will. A new situation, you throw a ball in the dirt, guess what? You have a runner at first base or on second base. Now things change, bunt defenses change. So staying present, focus is my first of the 4 F's. And I think that's probably one of the biggest ones out of the 4 F's. The next one is to be able to flush it. if we do have a situation where we boot a ground ball and, you strike out with the bases loaded and you have 2 outs, you still have to play defense again. You still have to run out on the field, and you can't take that stuff with you, which leads into the next one, which is forget it. And this one's the hard one, I think. I think it's, easy for us to be able to make a mistake, get your teammates rally around you. You tend to flush it. But did you forget about it? And did you, after the inning is over, did you go back in the dugout and did you start complaining about it again? And, things like that, I think, linger, and they create negativity, whether it's between your own ears or even in that dugout. And so just make sure that we're not replaying that play or that situation. Again, go back to focus forward, focus on the new things. You want to work on what the mistake that you did, that's fine. Go home, go to your gym, go to practice, use visualization tools to prepare next time for maybe that bad hop that you got. Maybe that's the one you're visualizing. But again, you're not going to dwell on your mistakes. You're going to see it, which goes back to failure, which is not part of the 4Fs, by the way. But you failed on something. You can't continue to dwell. You have to move on. You have to flush. You have to forget it. The final F that I have for you today is just fight. Fight, fight, fight. Whatever your situation may be, whatever mistake may be, whatever your offer may be, the game score, I think we don't do this enough. I don't think we care about this one, and we just kind of roll over. And I believe that if you compete every single moment or every single rep and you're focused and you can flush and you can forget it, the fight becomes much, much easier because you're not fighting your other demons that you have inside your head on the mistakes that you made. So what I like to see out of this fight is those gritty athletes, because if you're a gritty athlete and you keep fighting, you keep fouling pitches off, and you're hard to strike out, or you're a great base runner and you're grimy on the bases, it's tough to beat. And so if talent starts to lose focus, all of a sudden those gritty athletes can have a chance to come back and provide an opportunity for the next moment that you'll have in this game. And so my big takeaway for today, for you guys, is I would love for you just to think about the biggest word here, which is the focus. And we talked about it last week again on the show. I couldn't agree more with Brian when we talked about it. And that's something that eye contact. I had this last night with my 8U group, and I literally would point at them, and I would give them the old, look at my eyes and point right back at them and say, hey, you guys locked in on me. And I kept continuing to do that. And over time, believe it or not, it became routine. And I was like, okay, this is something that I've been missing on myself, is making sure that players are locked in on me, and then making sure that I'm saying things that they can keep their focus. I think that's the biggest one of the 4Fs. You got to focus, flush it, forget it, and of course, fight. And to end here, one of the things that I've learned, and this is from the White Rat, which is Whitey Herzog, this game is played in moments. One singular moment, one pitch, one play, one throw, one catch, one out, one half inning, one ball game, one season, one career. And if you spend your time worrying about these failures, if you will, I don't want to use that word, but these mistakes, and they cost you these moments, to be, to live in these moments, the game can be harsh on you. And so I really want you to think about that, and what that means is one moment. And if you've made that mistake, turn around and let your teammates help you out when you flush it. Let your teammates help you refocus. You'll forget about that, have a little bit of fun with it, and then here comes that fight. And that's what we all chase as coaches. That's what we want, right? We always tell you we want these dogs. Well, what does that mean? Okay, it's a guy that can't roll over. You got to be able to fight. But if you're going to fight, you're going to have to forget all the other stuff because it ain't going to work. So I'm going to leave you again with that. Live in the moments. Enjoy this game as much as you can. And for my young people out there, my young coaches, don't be afraid to start putting inside the budgets, maybe the ice cream stand, and get your slushies and your candy after the game. And maybe the star of the game gets the extra $4. I guess that's what it costs nowadays at concession stands. But anywho, make sure that this is something that we're going to do over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be really busy with Youth Baseball Midwest. We're going to be out at Car Shield doing some games in the Premier Pitching Development League. That's going to be fun. You might see me on there doing some games, but you got to make sure that you hit the dinger, you hit that little bell at the top, so that way you get your notifications when they go live. And we're doing these games. Missouri Legion, they just did the high school all-star game, which was a blast. You go back and see. Of course, you can go back and see other episodes that I have with guests on my shows, and we'll get back to that. But in the meantime, we're going to have these short little sessions, and we hope that you tune in, and you're not going to be able to do that without those notifications. So I'm by myself, but pitchers pump strikes, and hitters hit them where they're aimed. It's the best advice that Darren Sissel has given me myself. So you guys have a great day out there, and be safe and enjoy the sun. See you guys.